Hello, Abraxas here, and I want an accretion disk. Anyways, yeah, in my previous episode of this, I basically was kind of disappointed that the new version did not have accretion disk for the black holes. So, I want to try to make one. Hopefully my little glitch still works where I can place an object like our good favorite biggest gas giant in our system, Jupiter. And let's see if I can lock the radius here. Okay, yeah, I have to increase it by 1 before I can actually lock it or something like that. Now the radius goes up with it. That doesn't really matter. Because I'm not making a black hole yet. I need to turn this into a star. Let's go ahead and set this to... Hopefully the value is still the same. 1.28. No, that's 128. 1.28 sun. What? Wait. What? How did I end up with a black dwarf? That's not correct. Okay. We'll try that again. Oh, look at that. It placed all the moons. Very cool. I didn't want that, but it did it. Very cool. Jesus. Okay. Wants to make a black dwarf. I think I'm fine with this. Let's just go to 1.28. Because it's not hot? I guess so. Okay, so the mechanic for turning things into a star has definitely changed. Why? This just doesn't work anymore. Whoa. Is that all of Jupiter's moons just flying in? I assume so. How am I going to do this? This video is going to be jump cut galore. Maybe if I add an already existing pulsar, stars. Let's just add this pulsar that I've never heard of. A pulsar effect. It doesn't have any plumes of energy just spewing out, no gamma rays. There's no make pulsar option anymore. Is there? Okay, how do I... Magnetic field. So that'd be under materials, right? Yes, show magnetic axis. Okay. Let's just turn up the magnetic field and see if we can get, like, a plume going. Let's just set it to 1 Tesla. View. Oh. Interesting. Materials. I don't know. I don't know how I make a pulsar anymore. Let's try this with the sun. Just drop the... Okay, not in orbit, but still place the sun. Okay, let's start a new simulation. I can't seem to get that to show up. Okay, let's pause time. Let's add our sun straight to the center here. And let's just increase its mass to 1.28. It should go into a nova once I do that. If the variables are still the same. Okay. Okay, it's a nova remnant. Okay, that's what I wanted. Actions. Oh, hello, little nova remnant. That's... There's no make pulsar option. Yeah, under actions, there's no make pulsar. Interesting. It looks like it turned into a pulsar. It seems like they mostly fixed it, though. But I know I can still get the energy plumes to work. Why are they not working? Oh, wait, I got it. Okay, so I can do it with the sun. There we go, that's what I wanted. But I want this to be much, much more thin than this. How do I do that? Maybe change the value to Tesla. Which is a lot of energy, but I'm fine with this. 1 Tesla. It doesn't seem to actually be changing in size. Okay, so now we can see the energy plumes just slowly spanning out. Can't seem to make the energy like any more, I don't know, concentrated, I guess. Particle jets on. Okay, what'd that do? What if I turn it off? What? Particle jets is just what's actually going around the outside, isn't it? Okay. But the gamma radiation, which is flying up the north and south pole, is not actually concentrating at all. Okay, well, guess I'll just leave it at that. I'm actually gonna just turn off the particle jets, I guess, which is apparently on, unless that's the particle jets. But here we go. So what I want to do is I want to shrink this down into a black hole. So let's change the radius to 1 kilometer. Blink. Now it's a black hole. And yes, it does still have its particle jets, so perfect. Now we want the radius to be 1 sun. Okay, so we have a black hole here. Now let's adjust the simulation and let's change the background so we can actually see a little bit. Red nebula. I can kind of see with that one. Let's just get Milky Way bright. Is this it? Oh, this is it. Can't really see that well. Let's just change it to not white. Dark gray. There we go. And now we can see quite a bit. I kind of like the dark gray background. No, wait, it still does have like an energy plume down on the South Pole. That's weird. Well, now that's just not working. This is still, I mean, it's still an alpha, so it has some very weird bugs going on, but we have this kind of effect going on, so that's kind of cool. That's not really going inwards, so let's mess with the magnetic field and just see what happens. Let's change it to 0. Rid of it. Now let's just set it to a value of 1. Okay, so these just seem to be completely stuck on the black hole. So this is completely bugged out, but let's work with this. Let's try to make an accretion disk. What I was thinking I can do is I can grab a planet that has a radius bigger than Earth and just throw a bunch of planets inside of its kind of Roche limit and see if I could just blow them up and make a giant ring of fire pretty much. So let's just do that. Oh, whoops, I just dropped it right in orbit. And it's going really fast. But yeah, it's just gonna drop hundreds and hundreds of planets in here and see if I can just break them down into kind of a ring. Now we're starting to get a lot of particles going on. Now, because drawing those trails is probably a bit intensive on the CPU, let's go ahead and slow down a little bit. We're going milliseconds, and look how fast these things are orbiting. That's insane. I like how it actually generated random planets for it, though. Let's throw in a Jupiter or two. Because in this game, you could totally just say that. The Jupiter should break up in kind of an interesting way. They should break up in an interesting way with a lot of gas and other things, and they should also absorb some of these rocks a little bit. So maybe that might actually do something interesting. That, or it might just eject a lot of these out. It's up a little bit. It might not last long. Ooh, it's gonna smack into that Jupiter. Here it goes. Oh, it just clipped it. It made it a little bit bigger. This isn't quite the accretion disk I wanted. But I think that's fine. As long as we get these to break up enough, I could probably just pause it and start delete. Whoa. Oh, I see what's going on. A lot of these smaller planets are actually catching the gas from the larger gas giants and actually turning into gas giants themselves. That's very cool. Now, I could just do this for the ring feature, but that's just not as good. Let's just pause it here, and let's just remove some of these larger objects. I'm probably going to jump cut. Okay, so I've removed a lot of the planets, actually. There's a couple still here. So I removed all the planets, except for maybe this one. Actually, there's still a few small planets, but that's fine. And we got kind of something, a lot of gas and flaming rock. But something tells me these planets are actually going to grow bigger because they actually might condense into moons or something, but we'll see. That gas giant just totally popped in. Just get rid of that. Yeah, a lot of these are just still condensing into gas giants, I guess. Like this one right here. Oh, and look at that. Wait. Oh, that was kind of cool. Let's zoom out a little bit. And check that out. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. It actually looks like a black hole. Let's fast forward the game a little bit and get these like spinning really, really fast. So I've kind of made like a little bit of an accretion disk in the game. And things are actually breaking down a lot more. Oh, check that out. Now, if only I can get the gamma rays shooting out of the top. So I've kind of made an accretion disk. That's kind of cool. Let's see if, let's do this, because I think it's probably based on mass, not actually diameter. Let's lock the radius, and let's increase the mass. Okay, so I'm going to completely destroy this. There's no doubt about that. Actually, that's already pretty high mass. I might be able to actually get away with adding more planets to the outer edges. Let's try that. So here we go. Just add a ton of planets out here. Let's try to expand on this accretion disk. Yeah, this is going to get laggy, but as you can see, I put a lot of Keplers in here. There's so many particles and stuff. This is really going to bog my PC down, but here we go. Let's go ahead and slow down time so we don't completely kill this thing. Oh yeah, there's the lag. But these should hopefully break apart since the mass is already so high. Let's check. Are these breaking apart? It might actually keep these things as planet. Oh, wait, I see something. I see something going on. I see gases breaking apart from it. Okay, so I'm gonna probably give this a little while and let this simulation just kind of go on. So, jump cut. Also, yeah, I'm totally uploading my next space engine exploration video while doing this, so it's all good. Look at that. Some of the planets collided, and now there's just like rings of fire and molten rock just kind of flying around. That's really cool. Kind of bigger planets here. Let's just throw a few of these glowing ones in. Okay, let's go ahead and pause this, because I do actually have these, what is this, Carrot 7B or something like that? Sherrett? Something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these gas giants from the simulation. And kind of remove a lot of these Keplers out, if I can. So is it shift? No, is it control? Yeah, it's control. So I'm gonna remove a lot of these Keplers out, because they're lagging up the simulation. They're not actually breaking apart, because they're not exactly big enough to do so at this distance, which is kind of shocking. And I'm going to add in a lot more of these 7B planets, because they seem to break apart even at this distance, which is really cool because they're also red, which might make the accretion disk look a lot cooler. Okay, so here we go. Let's run this for a bit and see what happens. I do still have a lot of Keplers in there. I'll remove these. Let's just let this run and see what happens. watching this black hole shred all these little planets apart. I mean, look at this. Just being torn apart and it's molten. That is so cool. Look at this. Look at that lensing effect on this thing. Wow. That is an awesome looking accretion disk. I'm gonna do this like another time. I'm probably gonna just wow. I'm probably gonna jump cut, and I have a different plan. I'm not gonna use so many planets, but I have an idea, because I think I hit the particle limit of the game here. Okay, so I have the game loading up right now. I did crash when I tried to start a new simulation and stuff, but here we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recreate that same simulation. So let's go ahead and go to new and jump cut. Okay, so here we go. We got our black hole back, but let's go ahead and set it to that same size. Let's change it to 1 sun without locking the mass, and let it adjust to whatever it wants to adjust to. And there we go. We have our little quasar going on, and let's get an accretion disk going on. So here's what I'm going to do this time. I want to add planets. I'm going to slow down time because I literally had that in milliseconds, and those things were orbiting that quickly. That was incredibly fast. So it literally was like an accretion disk. But I'm only going to use Sherrit 7B, or is it Carrot? I don't know. I'm going to say Sherrit. That sounds way more better. That sounds way more educated. But yeah, let's just drop a bunch of these in. And let's get a nice wide radius on them too. Just do it in like little waves like this. Let's get some out here. And there we go. Let's keep adding them in. So maybe this might form a really cool looking accretion disk, because they're still breaking up even out here. And now this is going to get a little bit laggy, but let's go ahead and jump cut, and I'm going to change the background to the gray one. Okay, so I got the gray background loaded in, and here's kind of our black hole here, and the accretion disk is slowly forming. Let's turn off trails, because that might be lagging down the game a little bit. And let's just go ahead and fast forward a little bit and watch these break up. It appears running the simulation and fast forward actually breaks them up more. Because when you run in fast forward, the simulation gets less accurate, and that might actually be a good thing to promote the destruction of all this. It's very laggy though. And this is just 2 seconds per second. I might have again hit the particle limit of the game, because it doesn't really seem like there's enough of them. There's a better way to do this. I mean, the accretion disk still looks cool if you look at it from an angle, if I just go ahead and turn off the labels. Like, it really does look like an accretion disk, but it's just not dense enough. I'm wondering what I can do to actually make this a little bit better. And here it is actually spinning like really quickly. Which, as you can tell, is a super low frame rate because the simulation's having a hard time actually keeping up with all these planets. But you kind of do get a really nice accretion disk effect here. And let's just go ahead and change the background to something a little bit more pretty, such as the bright Milky Way. And now you just see this lovely black hole here with a nice accretion disk. And it's kind of gamma rays, but it did not really turn out like I wanted them to. But very cool nonetheless. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try one more time to try to fill in the gaps here. Okay, so I have everything but the black hole deleted now. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's see if I can get something better going on here. Let's change our background back to something a little bit more visible. Okay, so here's our black hole again. Now what I want to use is, do we have a gas giant that is potentially molten? This one's only 13 Jupiters, and it's incredibly hot. Maybe this will dissolve in such a way that'll look very, very cool. So let's do more of a consistent pattern. Let's just do this many. Well, and maybe some out here. Just to kind of fill this in. And some more out here. So maybe this many. That's significantly less planets. Of course, they're larger masses, but maybe this will actually do something a little bit more cool. Let's find out. I know they're going to collide into each other, but I kind of want to promote that. Oh, that one just kind of exploded. Ah, yes, their gravity is kind of... Oh, wow. Look at that. There we go. That's kind of cool. Oh, wow. I think I just found out how to make an accretion disk. Look at that. The particles. We just gotta wait for these to kind of destroy each other, and maybe we'll actually get something resembling an accretion disk here. We're getting these nice red particles, and that's kind of what we want. Let's keep fast forwarding, and let's just watch them destroy each other. Or become one giant mass. Hopefully they're not absorbing the particles, though. That one just vented off a ton of, like, whiter gas. A lot of these are actually falling into the black hole. Hopefully not too many of the particles are. I know these gas giants have a lot of gravity, so they have a major influence on a lot of these particles. Let's speed it up and see if I can kind of ruin the simulation a little bit. That might actually... Yeah, it's kind of promoting more part... Oh, whoa. We just made a star. Alright. Pause it. That star is taking too many of the particles in. Let's just drop a couple more of these on the outer edges and try to promote these to collide a little bit. We can't let gas giants sit around too long or else they will actually kind of eat away at the particles, so let's try this. So now it's only particles here, but I think I might have hit that count again. Wonder if there's something I could do about this. Also, a lot of these particles are actually being ejected. Let me get rid of all these excess ones on the outside. Okay, so I got rid of all the excess particles, and now we just have a lot of small ones kind of orbiting around this black hole. Let's go ahead and hit play. Oh, I think a lot more just got flung out. But we got something kind of more resembling an accretion disk. But not quite the red color that I want. And there we go. Just kind of slowed it down. Now it's all smooth. And you can see that it has the same effect that it has like in Interstellar and in Space Engine, where the lensing effect actually does make it go around the black hole in such a way. So it's very cool that it actually does that in this game. Given at a lower level of accuracy, but that's very cool. Do one more simulation. Delete these outer particles as so, and try to get rid of the ones that are way outside of the radius, because we don't need any of these. They're just gonna bog down the engine a bit and kind of kill the view distance. So this is just everything that's like not in the actual black hole, and I'm just gonna make kind of a more compact one and see what I could do working with this. So I have another planet here that is 51 Peg B. I think I used 2 mass. No, wait, yeah, that is 13 Jupiters. This one's only 146 Earths, so it's actually relatively small. So let's get this just kind of in here, and it's nice and molten, so maybe this might actually make a nice accretion disk, while not being too big that it just kind of absorbs everything. Let's throw a lot more of these Sherrod planets in. Just kind of get the red mixed in. Check that out. That's looking really nice now. Of course, we have a lot of planets in here, but that's fine. Alright, now let's remove the larger bodies that are kind of just consuming a lot of these particles, now that they've kind of made their own. And let's hit play. So there we go. We have a really cool, like, kind of accretion disk effect with these kind of whiter particles, but very awesome nonetheless. So there is my accretion disk kind of simulated in Universe Sandbox 2. It's not natively supported in the game, but nonetheless, it's very cool. Not quite the red color I want either, but we do have some fiery particles down in there, and you can just see it twirling around the black hole. we have a lot of particles just kind of ejected out there because those gas giants were just throwing them around and just threw a huge plume of them out in this direction. So let's go ahead and get rid of that real quick. Spare ones that are just out and about, and let's go ahead and zoom in here. And this is kind of our little accretion disk. A little bit's just kind of falling out, but that's perfectly fine. Let's change our background again to the Milky Way bright. And get the nice Milky Way in the background there. And let's just hit play. But we want to speed it up. We want this spinning really fast. It's an accretion disk after all. Ooh, a little bit too fast. So the simulation really can't keep up. At least my CPU can't, because of all these particles. What else can I turn down? Maybe the texture resolution? And the filtering quality. I don't think we really need filters, do we? No. So let's go ahead and turn all that off. And now maybe this will actually run a little bit smoother. Let's go ahead and hit play. Now it seems to be purely limited by the CPU. But there's kind of our little makeshift accretion disk. I'm sure if I went around and kind of cleaned up some of the particles on the outside, we might be able to actually get a little bit more performance. So let's try that. So there's a little bit of a particle cleanup. There's still a couple stray ones out here. Alright, so I got rid of a lot of the stray particles. Let's just see if this speeds up the simulation at all. Not really too much. And there we go. So, yeah, I think I've drug on this video long enough. But there's basically my accretion disk in Universe Sandbox 2. If you guys liked the video, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one. That's just so cool, the lensing effect. Bonus clip. I found a much easier way to actually make a accretion disk. So I have a black hole here. It's just the 10K Sun one. To essentially make an accretion disk. So grab the 10K Sun one and just drop it in. You can find that on your black holes right here. And if I go to planets, I could just grab share it here, and I have the time set to 200 milliseconds. If I just literally drop this in a few times, you can see that it just breaks apart like crazy. And just speed it up a bit. Look at that. Literally makes an accretion disk that easily. And there we go. After deleting the planets, we have a pretty simple accretion disk. Very easily done. And let's just go ahead and load in a different background real quick. And there we go. Our black hole with a super simple, super well performing accretion disk. Anyways, see you guys.